Hello, everyone. It's me, Kirsten. Welcome to the It's Giving Mystical podcast. This is your podcast, your card of the week for the week of December 20th. Zeroing in on that solstice point, that descent into darkness that is the winter solstice, I want to call your attention, your awareness one more time to the beauty that exists in this moment. There is an echo in your body, an echo in your vibrational field that is always in match to the earth. And right now in particular, it's in match to this falling silent, to this falling still, to this falling into darkness. Whether you can take an hour, whether you can take a day, whether you can take a week, I really encourage you to open your heart and your awareness to the sense of the stillness, the darkness, the silence, not as a place of emptiness or a place of lack, but as a full place, like as a full place. There is something so beautiful offered to you when you are willing to attend to the darkness, the stillness, the silence. You find that those places actually fill you up. Like you find that those places are gifting places. They want to restore you, renew you, regenerate you. And I don't know that we realize how hungry we are for that rejuvenation. So the Seven of Swords week that we're coming out of, actually I had a woman I'm working with who I just adore, and she got engaged this past week, and it was a surprise. That Seven of Swords energy. So we say deception and people run off into this sense of I'll be tricked or something bad happening, but it can be a beautiful invitation. Actually, it can be a surprise. It can be a surprise party. It can be a surprise engagement. It can be something that a joke or a story or an interaction that just surprises you or delights you as much as it can be something challenging. So please remember that's with us too in the Seven of Swords. Also in the Seven of Swords, the mental plane, this idea of your words, your language, your thoughts being not particularly reliable, not very kind of consistent, not very firm. And sometimes they can take on the quality of being quite thin. There's like a thin feeling, almost like a metallic quality to the Seven of Swords, in particular, that card, that sword energy. So it's another reason to not rely on this so much, to not rely on the language, the communication, the words so much, but to instead attend to the silence, attend to the darkness, see what's there, because there's so much richness there. Okay, I'm going to tell you the card I pulled for you. You already know it because you're here with the podcast, but the card I pulled for us this week is the Tower card. I am not afraid of tower energy. I know many people are, and I encourage you not to be. I will tell you that most fundamentally, tower energy is the structures we put in place because we think we're supposed to have them. It's the idea that we build a house or go to a school or do work or have a relationship or have a family because we're told that's where satisfaction lives, that's where success lives. And the tower is the moments in our lives where that falls away and we're left to think about, where does our real satisfaction live? Where does our heart want to be? What does real growth feel like? Real evolution, real blossoming. And it's often that our truest growth, our truest blossoming, our truest unfolding is not the well-worn path, is not the thing that everyone else says to do. It's not a place of conformity. It's not a place of do it this way and you'll be all right, man. It's more a sense of, what is my heart longing for? And listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you believe me or not. Everyone wants everything. We exist in ever unfolding, overlapping circles of desire. And the more we attain or experience or encounter, the more we desire. Like it's an exponential process, an exponential experience of life and living in the heart. And we are really here only to experience being here. The tower is all of the things that help you forget the void, help you forget the vastness of the universe, help you forget the vastness of your desire. It's this idea of, if you build this wall, if you build this container, then you can exist within it and it can hold back the darkness. It can hold back the confusion or the discomfort of the unknown. So when the tower falls, the Scorpio bitch in me loves this idea of, yeah, let's get in it. Let's get into the chaos and into the void and into the silence and into the darkness because it's such a rich, beautiful place. I know not everyone feels that way, but I tell you this because the tower is nothing to fear. The tower is a sense of limitation. And while it can feel like a safe and lovely place to be, it still exists as a limitation. It exists as a boundary line. Nothing wrong with that, but the tower energy comes in when that's become too rigid or too brittle. All week, this has been following me, this sense of brittleness or thin metal or even like a metallic taste in my mouth, where I've been hearing sounds and hearing like the metal in the sounds. And in Chinese medicine, the remedy for that metallic thinness, that brittleness, is wood, is earth, right? Is to go out and to feel nature, feel the earth. It's a message coming again and again. Allow yourself to connect with the pulse of the earth right now. This tower energy, as it came to us right now, as it came to me before I sat with you for this recording, was a wild experience of the tower. I've never experienced anything quite like it. It came in reverse. Y'all know I'm not a huge reversal fan, but the reverse cards are really like activated right now. And when the tower came in, what I saw, so if you know the tower card, the traditional Rider-Waite, it's people leaping. And one of the beautiful quotes, I think it's an Alice in Wonderland quote that comes with that, is like, darling, what if I fall? Oh, darling, what if you fly? There's always that energy in the tower. Yes, it is scary to break past old boundaries. It's scary to venture out into the darkness or the stillness. And there's the fear of, what if I can't do it? But there's this greater longing, this greater hope of, yes, but what if I can? And what if it's so much better than I realized? And what if I'm actually here to fly? So there's that beautiful invitation always. But because the tower came in reversed, it struck me, it just really struck me, because what happens is the figures in the card, they look like they're reaching up to the sky. So when they're falling, but when you have the tower card like this, it looks like they're reaching up to the sky. Crazy, me living in New Jersey, having a lot of experiences of what's happening in the sky right now. We are thick in like drone energy. Aquarius is like banging the drums of aliens and banging the drums of other AI and banging the drums of like intelligence that exists outside of the incarnate experience, outside of the embodied experience. When I saw it, I really had this thought of what's coming from the sky. So like crazy conspiracy theorist Kirsten would say to you, we're going to have like encounters. We're going to be looking up this week. And that sounds wild and crazy. And so part of me is, don't say that out loud. But there's a truth to when I turned over the card, that was my first thought of, we're going to be looking up to the sky. There is an element with the tower of crumbling, which is not easy. And I know that we're in this judgment in this hangman month. And so the reversal and the crumbling coming hand in hand, and the eyes opening coming hand in hand, can be a lot. What I'll say to you is what my mom used to always say to me about the tower. The tower invites you to slow down. This solstice really invites you to slow down. And listen, let's be clear. I am telling you that. I am seeing that in meditation. I am seeing that in my own practice. I am seeing that in the cards. I am seeing that in my conversations with the earth. And I'm having a hard time doing it. So lay it on the table. I can say it and I can know it's true. And I can have to work double hard to actually practice what I preach. So I understand that me throwing this out there, slow down, there can be a little bit of, yeah, Kirsten, it must be nice for you, but I don't have time for that. I've got kids and life and the world happening around me. So I say yes to that. And I ask you to step up into your sense of agency and discover where you actually could slow down. Tower energy, you always want to drive more slowly. You always want to pack more time into your travel. You always want to, whatever movement you do with your body, you want to do it a little more carefully. The tower, in its most fundamental aspects, is a larger current of energy moving through the system than the system has capacity for. So beautiful and also tricky expression of that is Kundalini rising, right? It's when the snake, the beautiful dusty snake, rises up into our spine to fill us with life force, to awaken us. That energy of the current moving through our bodies, it's like you can practice for that, but there is something about needing to push more energy through the system so that the system can understand what it feels like to have more energy. And that's where any kind of growth, any kind of movement, any kind of healing is a pulsing movement. It's a movement of expansion and then contraction, and then expansion and contraction. And you are slowly expanding your capacity, but it's not happening in a straight line, and it's not something you're forcing open. When the tower comes, it's a bolt of energy that runs through our system. Again, it can be beautiful. It can be very inspiring. It can be very awe-inspiring. But it is something that our physical body has trouble like regulating. It's like when your leg's asleep and then you walk, or it's like watching a toddler. Oh my God, my cousin, my baby, my cousin has a 1-year-old baby who's just walking. If the joy and the ease that in which he moves and the ease with which he like falls totally flat down and just pops back up, his squats are just impressive. And when you're watching him move, there's a lesson there with tower energy. Nothing is a straight line. Everything is a kind of a pulsing of movement and a pulsing of learning and stepping back and healing and contracting into your old habits. And it's all this wave formation, this wave movement. And so just know that when the tower card comes, it's going to say to you, there's some movement of energy through the system that the system doesn't quite have capacity for. And that's all right. But we want to be gentle with the system while this burst of energy is running through it. And then just layering on top of that, I do want to bring note to the reversal. So the reversal might be a withdrawal of energy. The reversal might be, I feel tired, I feel depleted. The withdrawal might be, I had that happen and now I'm in a little bit of the doldrums. So just aware that we're dealing with the sense of what does the system have capacity for? And I mean that like collectively, communally, and individually. What does the system have capacity for? And where are those edges being pushed? And something about what does that have to do with the sky? Something about what does that have to do with the earth and this dance between the earth and the sky? When you think about Greek mythology and most mythologies, there's always this tension between what's happening on the earth and what's happening in the sky, like the father of the sky and the mother of the earth. And we think about that materially, like when we say Pachamama, we're thinking about the earth as it exists, but it's a bigger idea than that, right? It's the idea of the earth mother, the all encompassing creative mother, the all loving mother, as an idea and a concept and an energetic pole, an energetic movement. And then you think of Sky Daddy, or you think of this idea of Pachapapa, and it's that sense of spirit as it lives in the sky. But it's a bigger idea of the overarching protector, the overarching, like spaciousness of the universe, the movement towards that, and the way those two things come together, the creative birthing aspects of the universe, and then the protective kind of overarching aspects of the universe. So the Tower card, I know can make people nervous. I would invite you to recognize that life does come in unexpected moments. I would ask you to recognize that there's something about the system that's being tested right now. You can feel that, right? That's just true. And it's okay. And there's something about looking up. I mean that maybe literally, but I mean that a little bit more metaphorically, of looking up and out, like not letting yourself get caught in not the rubble, but the presentation, the presenting energy, and looking at the spaciousness that's created because of it. Look at the air that's created because of it. Look at the possibility that's created because of it. And maybe even touching into what I was just saying about the protective energies. Like, how do you feel? How do you tap into the condor wings? How do you tap into the sky daddy? How do you tap into this sense of spirit as something that holds us as like a unifying force in the universe? And then what does that have to do with the systems as they find their edges and are tested and challenged? It's a little like metaphorical, but I think it's an important thing to say. And I think as the week progresses, it might make more sense. I'm listening to this book. Is it Matt Haig who wrote The Midnight Library? And I think it's The Impossible Life. I hope that's what it's called. And there's just one quote where the guy says, like, we're not at the end of history. Like, we're not at the end of the meaning. There's something here with that as well. Like, you get confused that this is the peak or this is the pinnacle or this is the most important moment because it's the one that we're in. But we haven't come to the end. Like, we haven't come to the end of history. We haven't come to the end of your own story or my story. And so there's something about this moment. Again, think about judgment, think about the hangman, think about the tower. This question of what about the system is too confining, and where do we need to test the edges of that? And what is the beauty that wants to come through? What is the harmonized, the unifying energy that wants to be expressed through that? Okay, I hope I didn't go too off into La La Land. I hope that was helpful. Most basically, slow down. Slow down. The solstice says slow down. The earth is saying slow down. The tarot is saying slow down. Slow down. It will all get done. And if it doesn't get all done, that will be just right on time. It's all going to be all right. And you want to just have this sense of, I'm not at the end of history. I'm not at the end of meaning. It's all still being created. It's still being formed. I live in a rich, fertile universe, and there is a unifying force. And it's okay to defer to that a little bit sometimes. Sending you so much love, and may the solstice be a place of quiet and nourishment and gifting. May you allow yourself to be gifted by the energy of the solstice, by this descent into darkness. So much love. Bye.